Hello everyone, welcome. I'm going to be doing a little bit of stitching in today's video, something I never get tired of. I just love all of the new stitching dies that are out on the market. And I have Spellbinder's April Stitching Die Club Kit here. This one is called Stitched Fanfare. I went ahead and cut everything out with some white cardstock just to show you what is involved with this kit. This kit doesn't require a whole lot of stitching, as I'm going to show you. These 3 pieces here are the only 3 stitching pieces, and they layer up like so. And then the rest are more decorative pieces. Then you have the sentiment that says, "For you." Before I get into my stitching, however, I'm going to add a little bit of color to these white die cuts with some ink. So these are the 3 colors that I chose. These are positively saturated inks. And I'll start with the largest stitching die cut and add a little bit of yellow to it. I'm not bringing the color all the way out to the edges. I want to have a little bit of the white showing. I cut out each of these pieces twice. I'm going to be creating a gatefold card in today's video. And I want to have one of these at either side of the fold in the middle of the card. I have matching thread, as you see there on the right. However, I'm not going to use the yellow thread with the yellow die cut. I'm going to mix them up just a little bit. So let me speed this video up and get on with the rest of the inking. The middle piece is going to be this beautiful peach color. My smallest piece here will be pink, and I don't end up using this on the card, but I'm definitely going to save this for another project. I'm going to quickly clean the ink off of my little blending sheet here. And then I will get into the stitching, but let me show you how these layer up with the colors. They look so pretty with the colors. One set is meant to go on top of the sentiment and another set below it, and I do have a card like that to show you at the end. Let's start in on the stitching. I taped this yellow thread on the back of the die cut. You can stitch this multiple ways, but I'm just going for the easiest route here. I'm just taking it up and down to make these little vertical stripes on this die cut. You can also go across and do a back stitching, so there's a line, a scalloped line across the top of your pieces. And I do that with the last card that I'm going to show you. But for now, I'm just making these cute little stitch marks, these vertical stitch marks at the top of the piece. I skipped ahead here to show you the end. And let me give you a close-up look at this, but I am going to tape this in place and then cut off my string. You could use glue to do this if you wanted to as well. But I just find it fastest and easiest to use a little bit of tape. Now I can just cut my string. I'll give you a close-up look at this now. Oh, okay, here we go. Can't hold on to these pieces. Off camera, I stitched the orange die cut with some pink floss and the yellow die cut with some orange floss. And now it's time to put this card together. Here is my card base, and as you can see, it's a gatefold that folds in the middle. It's still a 5.5 by 4.25 inch card. On the side folds, I'm going to attach some gray cardstock. This is called Silver Fox, and it's just a very pale, soft gray. I'm using the Spellbinder's new dot liner to do this. I'm really loving this stuff. I cut the gray cardstock down a little bit smaller than the side folds so that there would be a white matting on both sides. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to use this piece of light pink cardstock. It's pink sand. And of course, this is where I'll write my message. I'm going to start with the yellow die cut first. And I'm going to put one on either side of the opening. So I'm going to use some glue to attach these. I'm putting glue right over the tape. and putting a lot of it down. I don't want this falling off. And I'll butt it up to the side of the opening. I'll put an acrylic block on this to hold it down for a minute, and now I can attach the second side. The cardstock that I used for my base is 80-pound Nina Solar White. Since I'm adding a lot of paper layers to this card, I wanted to use a more lightweight cardstock for the card base. And now for the orange die cut. And they layer together so beautifully. And I decided not to use the pink pieces because they don't have the nice flat edge like the orange and the yellow pieces do. But again, I'll save those for another project. And now for the sentiment. It, of course, just says, "For you." I'm going to glue these letters down flat. And I will speed this up. But I have an acrylic block holding the flap down so that I can keep this flat to glue the letters on. This is a very simple looking card, but I love how it turned out. And then the stitching just takes it to a whole nother level. And then I kind of mess up the F on the front of this card. It was there with the block. So I don't think I added enough glue. So I added a little more glue, and I'll put that back in place. The last thing I'm going to do to this card is add some pink pearls to the front. These are, of course, from the Spellbinder shop. They have lots of beautiful pearls in the shop. You could, of course, put a belly band around it with either a ribbon or another piece of paper, but I'm just leaving it plain like this. I like how it kind of opens up and you can see the pink cardstock on the inside when you set it down. Or, of course, when you stand it up. The second card, actually, this is the first card I created when I was playing around with this die, seeing what it could do. I did the stitching the same way I did the first card. However, I added a back stitching on each die cut. And this just added a very cute look to it. I used silver and pink threads for this, and of course some pinks and a gray cardstock. And I thought this one turned out really striking. I added a few black gems around the sentiment as well. Spellbinders once again hit it out of the park with this set. Again, it's called Stitched Fanfare. It's on sale now through the 27th of April. This Stitching Die of the Month club has been selling out every month since they started this club. So if you're interested in this die, I'd say pick it up sooner than later. And I do have the link for that in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.